Welcome back to UAV drone design. In the last tutorial we created the top portion and the bottom portion of our drone body, and in this tutorial I'm hoping to create the turbine, which goes all the way back here and joins together with this surface. Okay, so our approach will be that we're going to cut out the from the surface the size of the turbine, and then we're going to create this surface on top of it. So let's get started. So let's head back to SolidWorks, and then we already created our display state, which is down here, so we can click on that if we need to. So let's see what we can see with this turbine here. Okay, so to be able to see through it, let's add an appearance to this body, and let's see if we can add glass. Let's add clear glass. Okay, so now we can see through, and we can see how big our turbine actually is. But as you can see on this sketch picture, is not very visible. So we're going to take back out our appearance, remove appearance. Okay, and we go back to our feature manager design tree, and then we're going to trim some out from this section here. Okay, so let's do that by creating a sketch on a new plane. Okay, or we can actually create a sketch on this plane. So let's create a sketch on this plane, but then we can see where the turbine actually starts. So let's get that reference line. So let's sketch on the front plane, and we're gonna get some reference lines here. So we're gonna get this reference line, construction geometry up to about this point, press escape, and we're going to get the other reference line, the end of the turbine, which goes from this line up to here. That's perfect. And then we're going to exit the sketch. Okay, and then now we're gonna go back to our top plane sketch, and then now we have the two reference points here where our turbine starts. So that's another line here, just so we get more clear on things. So that's one of them, and then that's the second one. So just roughly something like that. Okay, exit that, and we're gonna go back to our sketch picture and see how that looks. Okay, so it's almost as big as the body itself, but maybe a tiny bit smaller. Some as big as this crease here, right? And it doesn't have any curve outward. It's just a straight turbine, but as you can see, it kind of comes out to about here. So we're going to make it bigger, and then we're going to manipulate our splines to create some sort of bodies for our turbine here. So let's get back to SolidWorks, and then let's create a sketch. So first we're going to create another center line, some in the middle, and we will use this to mirror some of the sketches over. And then we're going to grab a spline, and then we're going to start somewhere about here, and then something like that. Okay, and then let's just go play with this spline for a little bit. See if we can get a better shape out of this. Maybe make this one something like that. As I said before, it's a fairly straight turbine, not so thick, but this side here comes out a little bit, just that much, and we will manipulate our splines accordingly, and we mirror it over about here, and it's going to take up about that much space. Yeah, so let's mirror this over. Let's mirror this entity, and we're going to mirror from this construction line. So that's our turbine there. And then now we're just going to close up some of these lines here. And then we close up this one. Okay, and press OK on that. And then we're gonna go to back to our surfaces, and then we're going to trim surface, and we're going to remove this part here. Press OK on that. Okay, so now we cut that out. This is what it looks like. Okay, the wings are gonna come out, some fly out somewhere there. Let's have a look at the picture. How does that look? Okay, that looks good. Somewhat good. And then it comes out from there. Let's see again. Okay, right. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now we're going to go to our display state as we made it before. Okay, so now we can create the shape what we are looking for. But first, let's go back to our default state, and let's get this top line here, so we know how far what's the top of the turbine actually is. Okay, let's have a look at one more time this. Right. Okay, so that's a fairly straight point there. So let's sketch on the front plane, and we're going to grab a spline. We're gonna start sketching somewhere about there, down there, all the way up to this point. Exit sketch, and let's make this line a bit straighter. And this edge here, bring this down. So that we have a straight line all the way across. Make it a bit bigger here, bring this down. Let's have a look at our drone. Right. So as you can see, the turbine itself is going through the air this way. So the body itself has a little bit of more of a dome shape to it, I assume. So maybe we bring this down a little bit. I'll leave it up here. Just leave it up here. I like that. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to exit the sketch. Okay, and then we're going to go back to our second display state, and now we can create the shape of our turbine that we are looking for. So let's grab a 3D sketch, and we're going to choose a spline. And the first thing we're going to do is from this point to this corner here, and then we're gonna get a profile view. So if you press spacebar on your keyboard, this brings up this box, so you can choose around what view that you're looking for. This doesn't have in the older version of SolidWorks. This feature is just quite recent. So let's make that top part fixed on the Z-axis. and we can further manipulate what we need to. And let's have a look at our sketch picture, how the front end looks like. So it looks quite straight at first, and then it comes out. So that looks straight. So let's fix this along the y-axis. And it comes out about there, comes down like that. That looks good to me. Okay, so I'm going to exit the sketch. And let's introduce another spline somewhere in the back. Let's have a look if you have visual on that. You do. So the back is kind of transitions into the whole body. So let's see if we can create that kind of transitions into this body. So we really want to create in that direction. So let's create another spline. Exit. Let's create another 3D spline actually. 3D spline. Let's sketch from here to this corner. And then we want to get a normal to profile. If you don't get a normal to profile and you sketch it, then you might drag these splines somewhere totally different, and you don't want to do that. So let's fix this again along the z-axis. That's okay. And let's see if we can make this tangent to this body. So the way to do that is if you click that and then you press Ctrl and then you choose this edge here. Let's see what we get. That's pretty good. Okay, and then we're just going to pull this out just a little bit, just like that. I like that, so we're going to press OK on that, and we'll see what we get. Let's see how our spline looks. Okay. Okay, so it kind of transformed that into that direction because it picked up this line, not the line what we were looking for. So again, let's choose this one, hold Control and get this line and see. Oh yeah, that's exactly. Okay, that's perfect now. So I wanted to get straight with that line, so get back to that profile view and see what we have here. So maybe we can pull this, drag this out just a little bit more. Okay, let's see how that looks. So it's going to create some sort of shape in that direction. So okay, so let's leave this for now, and then we create the rest of the splines here, and then we create this surface and see how we end up. So let's create another 3D spline. Okay, so let's just 3D sketch, choose the spline, go from the middle right down here all the way up here. Okay, and this is where we create our shape. Get to spacebar, get up here, and then make this again normal to profile. Just grab that handlebar, fix it on Z, and then let's see if we can manipulate this one as much as we are looking for. Something like that. That looks good. Okay. So let's have a look at this surface. How does it look? So let's go to surfaces, left surface. Let's choose this edge and this edge, and we're going to go to guide curves and choose this one. Choose that. Choose this front one here and press OK. See what we got.